On everybody, Double Check Effect Sports Code coming at you with another video. Shout out to everyone who has liked and subscribed to the channel thus far. Here we are. Today we wanted to make a video about part 2. If you've watched my video before about John Madden and his connection to this upcoming Super Bowl 59, I wanted to make this a part 2 series. I've been meaning to do this. I wanted to introduce John Candy as John Madden's twin for today. So I found a lot of similarities, not only from a looks perspective, but also numbers, dates, stature, a lot of things that, add up to them being connected, possibly as the same person, brothers, whatever you want to call them, the Janus, right? The Janus twin, right? So if you know, John Madden, he lived to be, 85 years old. Of course, the word twins equals 85. And then John Candy, he lived about 43. His life was cut short. So the duality of life and death, right? One lived a long life, one lived a shorter life. So yeah, want to just dive right in. I got some notes here. Just wanted to kind of go over a recap of the John Madden connection to this upcoming Super Bowl, just to fill you guys in if you missed the last video. So just kind of diving right in. Of course, Super Bowl 11 took place January 9th, 1977, in which John Madden won. Of course, we've talked extensively about, the Feast of Janus. Again, Amplified Truth is the one who put me onto this, so shout out to Amplified Truth for his channel. Go check him out. Feast of Janus is on January 9th, and the word Janus equals 65 and 11. Okay, as we said, 65 is the mirror to 59. Okay, if you were to flip it upside down, it gives you, and add the two numbers together, you get 124, which equals the phrase John Earl Madden. Okay, just this is a recap. You can watch the other video. I just wanted to fill everybody in to get everybody up to speed. Madden would become the most iconic sports broadcasters of all time, and he would appear to commentate 11 Super Bowls. There's the 11 again. Super Bowl 59 is the 11th Super Bowl hosted for the city of New Orleans. Shout out to Randy for finding that in the comments from the last video. Appreciate it. Again, this first Super Bowl he commentated was Super Bowl 16, which featured the Bengals and the 49ers. The 49ers first won. Again, Joe Montana. We're going to talk a little bit about Joe Montana. His last one, Super Bowl 43. Again, if you were to add 16 plus 43, it equals 59. Again, leading to this year's connection. Also, too, I made this connection about if you were to add them all up together, the sum total is 325. Again, the 25th tetrahedral, as well as, the Super Bowl will be taking place with 325 days left in the year. Okay, from the day of John Madden's death to the day of Super Bowl LIX, Super Bowl 59, equals 1,139, and in the Latin Jewish cipher twins, he dies at 85, equals 1139. Again, this all ties in now. He died at the age of 85. I'm going to take a future video right now, talk about his twin. Okay, so his twin, John Candy, right? So John Madden, sorry, I'm just going to find this here. John Madden, the twin, John Candy, okay? And it's just interesting because, he had a similar story, right? We're going to get to that here. Big actor, similar build, right? I think I looked it up. I think John Madden was 6'4", John Candy was about 6'3", so you can argue they had similar builds, very, very, distinct characters, right? If you look at them very close. And I wanted to go back to the notes to take a look and see right off the bat. So if you look, Candy's first film was The Class of 44. So I'm actually going to find you he wasn't a star in this film, but it was his first film. If you go down, I'm going to show you legacy. So Class of 44. He played not a very big role in this, but it's the first one that's mentioned about him. Notice the release date on this film was April 10th, 1973. Okay. Of course, John Madden was born April 10th in 1936. Okay, so already you have the duality. This would have been John Madden's 37th birthday, in the year 73. So there's the flip right there. Class of 44, the first film that John Candy appears in, and it just happens to be John Madden's 37th birthday in the year 73. So I thought that was really interesting right off the bat. Class of 44 was the title. If you were to take 44 times 44, squared, it equals 1936. Again, the year of Madden's birth. Okay, so John Madden is born in 1936. 44 times 44 equals that number, right? So very interesting right off the bat. I wanted to show you this skit here about John Candy. He's known for, he's a funny guy. He's in a lot of comedian movies. I'm just going to scratch the surface here with this one. This is the phone booth scene. I want to show you about, I think the context. He's at Saturday Night Live. This is in 1983. I just want you to notice some of the dialogue. I'm going to pause it as we go. So a lot of Janus duality here. Notice the doors, the white door, the dark brown door. You'll see in a minute.
Hello, Tom.
Hi, Father. How are you?
Just fine.
Tom. He shakes his hand. Hello, Tom. So this character right here, I don't know his name, but John Candy meets Tom. And of course, Thomas is known as the twin, right? So Thomas the Apostle, the twin. So right off the bat, he's in church. It's a confession, like a father, his first sins. We're going to fast forward. It's kind of funny, they fast forward a little bit, it's out of order, this traditional one. So they go to a phone booth. So we're gonna.
Hey, it's wonderful, really. Trust me on this, okay? Just go in, feel comfortable. When you're ready to talk, call me. I'll be in the next booth. All right? No, it's okay.
So he enters the door, right? And of course, Janus is the god of the doorways. They're entering the door. Notice the duality of it. They're next door to each other. Entering the door. Thomas, the twin, to, again, John Madden, John Candy. We're going to fast forward to this unique numbers that he gives. So he can't seem to find the number to call. Watch this. So they're confused. It says.
See, that's 555-238.
That is.
I think that's a 5.
Are you sure it isn't a 3?
No, I think it's a 5. It's got that little thing on the top.
So he's confused as to what the number is that he's calling, right? So he goes back over. And the other side of the door, notice the doors.
Father?
Yeah.
I forgot the other numbers.
Oh, sure. Happens to me all the time. 555-3285.
3285.
3285. So this is in clear representation for twins because he said 3285. And notice the twins next door. So he forgot his number. He dials his number to call the twin, right? So the duality, again, of the doors. So, they had to make an SNL skit. This is just what I wanted to show you about how, this is connected to the doorway. Twins, 85 and 32. You even heard him say it. Just one more time.
Father?
Yeah.
I forgot the other numbers.
Oh, sure. Happens to me all the time. 555-3285.
3285. 3285. 3285.
3285. And of course, this is the twins. 3285. Just something I noticed right off the bat with the skit. Again, the Apostle Thomas is known as the twin. And again, we're going to go back to our notes. I just want to keep going. There's a lot to cover here. I want to just, I'm going to go with, planes, trains, and automobiles. So the movie the movie is based off of, Steve Martin. He's trying to get home for Thanksgiving. The whole plot, if you take a look right here, says 3-day odyssey of misadventures trying to reach Chicago in time for Neil's Thanksgiving Day dinner. Okay, John Candy again is accompanying him during this time. It's a very popular film during Thanksgiving. Okay, so this is a very popular Thanksgiving film. It was actually, I believe, released on a Thanksgiving Day. Yeah, November 25th, 1987. And of course, the NFL in recent years has honored John Madden for his Thanksgiving Day broadcast. The Turduncan, he's got the Turduncan, he's, and again, the Turduncan was actually founded in New Orleans, fun fact. He actually stumbled upon it. I was reading about how the Turduncan was given and introduced to Madden in New Orleans, which I thought was interesting. So that's just a side note there. But again, the recent, Thanksgiving Day games have been named Thanksgiving Day John Madden Thanksgiving logo placed on the field. So now he has his own logo on the 25-yard line. That's noted too. It's the 25-yard line. Again, we're going to 2025 for this year's Super Bowl. So there's something to think about when thinking about, John Madden and planes, trains, and automobiles. The summary of the story is, hey, he's trying to get home for Thanksgiving. And again, John Madden, known Thanksgiving Day celebration. Let's see if it shows us that exact. It doesn't. But we'll go in more detail as this continues. This is just a video. I have a lot to cover, and just want to make sure I get through it all as we go. Now we're moving on. John Madden broadcast Super Bowl 16. Okay, so this is the big one. Okay, this is the one I wanted to kind of touch a little bit on. So in Super Bowl 16, it's the first one he broadcast, as you can see, which was won by the Niners. Again, I've had my eyes on the Niners as the NFC potential candidate. They're the favorites. And you see announcer John Madden. Okay, but also, did you know that I want to show you the rematch when the Bengals were there again. Notice he's not the announcer. Okay, he's not announcing this game. It wasn't one of the 11 that he announced. But John Candy is iconic for being referenced in Super Bowl 23. So we're going to fast forward this a little bit. I want you to hear the backstory here a little bit about how it connects, John Candy to Super Bowl 23.
Martin, he was our people watcher. So during the week of Super Bowl, once you get into the Super Bowl,
Joe Montana is discussing how one of his linemen was a Super Bowl. He's a kind of fanboying the celebrities in the stands, right? This is Joe Montana's greatest drive in the Super Bowl. He's famous for this. And then during it, he has the cool, calm composure, like Joe Cool himself would say, to reference this, which I think is absolutely crazy.
That I was out of control.
He was like humming. He was vibrating. He was so nervous.
And he goes, "Hey, H." I go, "What?" He goes, "Look down there in the other end zone." And I look down there.
I said, "Hey, H, man, there's John Candy."
And Harris is funny. Harris is like,
"Oh yeah, that is John Candy. Look at that."
So as you can see, the duality once again of John Madden and John Candy are both introduced during the last drive. This guy goes 93, I believe, yards to win the game, and most iconic comeback, Joe Cool type under pressure. And then during the huddle, to calm his players down, he references none other than John Candy. Again, duality of him in the stands and him in the press box. Okay, so they had to make sure that they would give you that Janus duality because he was the broadcaster for Super Bowl 16, but then he was in the stands. They reference him, kind of like when Rodgers was in the stands during the game as the Doppelganger. So an interesting connection. This was the Elvis Presley Bebop Bamboozled Super Bowl as well, so it's the Elvis Bowl. We'll get into that next time. So I just thought that was really crazy. Hey, they're referencing this guy during a very important drive, like John Candy. He's very distinct looking. That's the whole point of it. So yeah, I think that was another pretty crazy connection that I found to the two of these guys. And then the last big piece of it I wanted to kind of go into was, John Candy owned the Toronto Argonauts. Again, he's an owner of an NFL team, the Canadian Football League, the CFL. And he led them during the 1991 season to the Grey Cup championship. Okay. Now, from Super Bowl 11, John Madden's Super Bowl 11 to the 79th Grey Cup was exactly a span of 14 years and 320 days, 776 weeks. And again, the final score of Super Bowl 11 was 32-14. The word NFL equals 32-14. So there it is again. From a span of 14 years, 32 days, drop the zero, you get 320 days. So I think that was an interesting connection too. They had to keep that connected piece there. Again, John Candy starred in 43 films throughout his career, and he died at the age of 43 on March 3rd, so 3-4. So a lot of 43 connections again, Coach Madden, 44. And then again, this is the big one here. I thought I'm going to just show you guys. Death of Candy to Super Bowl 59 is exactly 11,300 days. Like, what are the chances that some guy, that passes a long time ago, I'm just going to plug that in just because I think that was the nail in the coffin there. Like, how is that possible? Like, of all the days it could have been, we're going to just plug in 3, 4. Sorry, I know this is a longer video. I tend to do these with this video. I think it calls for the attention. We're going to plug in the Super Bowl coming up. I do have some ideas as to who I like. I'm narrowing the search. I think it's getting more and more clear. See, look, from March 4th, 1994 to February 9th, 2025, a span of 11,300 days. The number of deception, 113. Okay? How about that? So, yeah, this is just kind of a tie-in together about how John Candy, he is the Janus. Again, I wanted to show you Cool Runnings too. This is a really interesting skit. The Super Bowl, I just wanted to, 59 is synonymous with, the African American race. Words such as Rasta, 59, blues, 59, slave, 59. So a lot of connections to the unfortunate 59, right? So with John Candy, he actually subtly, he's in the movie Cool Runnings, right? Cool Runnings, the Jamaican bobsled team. So he's the white guy with the African American bobsled team. A warm place going to a cold place, right? So there's that cold, hot duality once again. And I just want you to I thought this is very interesting, this scene right here. They're going down the hill. I'm going to play this clip.
Do, sir. And who are you? The Jamaican bobsled team, sir.
John Candy comes running down the hill. Just listen what he says.
Don't give me that business. I wasn't born yesterday.
5'9", 5'9", you did it! You did it! 5'9", we did it!
He's yelling 5'9", right? So, again, he's indirectly, saying, those words, Rasta blues, listen.
Get it, 5'9"! Get out of the way, get out of the way! 5'9", guys! What?
Who are you?
I'm their coach. You guys okay?
Yeah.
How's the sled?
Yeah, man, we're fine.
Sled's okay? Well, it's in the wrong place. Get it back to the top of the hill. Let's move it right now, you slackers. Move it. Let's hustle. Come
This has got
on.
very, John Madden-like characteristics there. Again, 5'9". Again, tribute to, the Jamaican bobsled team, New Orleans. It's going to be the 11th trip there. I just thought that was an interesting clip with John Candy and Cool Runnings, the white guy, black-white duality. Yeah, I just think that's a very interesting piece I found. I thought that would be a good place to end on for this particular video. So you get the idea. Again, Janus, he goes through the door. He's listening. Thomas, the twin, he says 8-5-32. John Candy, 11,300 days from Super Bowl 59 to his death in Durango. And I think I had one last note. Wagons East was the name of his last film. Wagons East, which is filmed in Durango, Mexico. And, of course, John Earl Madden equals the same gematria as Wagons East. Okay? And then just to put it all together, I'm not willing to make a prediction, but I do have my eye on a lot of the Ravens and the 49ers. I really like that matchup because, again, a lot of people, if you think last year are going to have buyer's remorse from that pick, people will be less likely to pick that. I'm going to look more into the Ravens. I've seen a lot of talk of it possibly being the Ravens. Again, there's a lot of time still. Again, I'm playing with a lot of ideas right now, but again, I'm just trying to tie these main pieces together of how John Madden and, John Candy's, life intersect. One's life was cut short. The other's was, a longer life, showing the duality of the twins, right? I didn't even get to, Uncle Buck, again, Macaulay Culkin, a lot of memes out there that he's Joe Burrow. Again, the year that Madden died, Joe Burrow goes to the Super Bowl again. So again, there's a lot of possibilities here. The one that I do, this is what I noticed. I'm going to type in is Super Bowl 47. This is just a side note. This isn't much for the video, but I just want to type this in. It gives me the right here. So if we look at the time, this is 65 points. Again, Janus, the twins, the Brothers Bowl. The game started at 6:31. Okay, so the game started at 6:31 in New Orleans time. Again, I want to show you if I have a calculator. I don't think I have a calculator, but 6:31 just so happens to be the 1111 minute of the day, the 11,111th minute of the day. If you were to subtract that 1,440 minutes in a day to the 1111 we just talked about, you would get 329, and then the LIX equals 329. So I thought that was interesting. Could be a rematch again. Fleur de Lis is 439. So remember that 439 for me real quick. This is just last piece before we head out. This is just a side note. These are just things I've noticed. This is just extra from the video. So if we go to the Blackout Bowl day of 2/3/13 to the upcoming Super Bowl this year, it would be a span of exactly, take away the 0, 439 days. And the Fleur de Lis is the French, theme with it. So again, Fleur de Lis equals 439. Where is it at? I've lost my place. But anyway, you get the idea. John Candy, John Madden, two becoming one. One death early, one death later in life. The twins, duality. Just want to get off here. Double Check Effect Sports Coat coming at you. I'll see you guys in for another video. Have a great rest of your day.